What's going on, Dan K Show fans? Elite and Premier Hockey got underway this weekend. It's hockey time, and the living is so darn easy. We've got NCDC way too early predictions. We've got to look into what's to come this weekend in the Elite and Premier. Tons of games nationwide, and we've got hashtag USPHL nation recaps of what happened down south. Huge hockey, huge times. Dan K Show starts now. All right, let's get right into it. Dive into it, the juicy goose. We've got Dan K's three things, the storylines I'm thinking about before we let my friend, my foe, depends on the day, Lucas Jones into the show. Thing number one, Premier and Elite got underway. We talked about it. We're going to be breaking those games down. We're going to talk about some of the best and brightest the league had to offer this past weekend. Speaking of best and brightest, that's where thing number two comes in. The job done by the organizations around the country, celebrating, remembering, honoring the heroes who lost their lives on September 11th, the day of the opening of this Elite and Premier season, from the folks down in Tampa to everyone up in Wayne, New Jersey, folks that were impacted so close to home when this happened 20 years ago. An incredible showing. Carolina had some incredible stuff as well. We thank all our teams for remembering the heroes of this great country that make us so great and have allowed us to live such happy lives here in the U.S. Thing number three, I'm unhappy. Thing number three, Lucas Jones makes his broadcasting debut for the season, and Dan K spent 16 hours in a car driving home and could have shown up a little earlier to come join him. But God forbid he gets to call a game with them. Let's introduce him in. Mr. Me, Mr. I Did It By Myself, Chad Javon Ocho Cinco of the Dan K Show. It is my way or the highway. Lucas, it's my broadcast booth. Get out of here, Jones. Welcome to the show.
Dan, if anything, I'm just working it out, right? You got to have those preseason games to really get into it. And it was great too, because we always talk about how that first broadcast, the first 5 minutes, it's like a shock back to reality, right? Every time you hop on that first game of the year, that puck drops, and man, is it just a wake up call? But it took me those 5 minutes, those 6 minutes, and I feel like I settled in, and I feel like I not only had a great time calling the game, thanks to Hitmen and the Raymonds for having me out, but I got to see the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights and their opening game action, and that was a real treat. That's a good looking team. Both them and the Hitmen look scary good this year.
I'll tell you what, alienating Coach Wags and his Rockets Hockey Club team at the elite level might have been the right call, because this Wilkes-Barre team looks dangerous, man. They're a grizzly bear of an elite squad. They go out there 2 one-goal games on back-to-back days. What did you see in that first matchup that this Wilkes-Barre team was on the ice for? What did you get out of these two teams? What were kind of your notes from the weekend on the Call on Hockey TV?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is that the Jersey Hitmen look like they've carried over quite a bit. And I think that's the biggest thing from last year. They made it to those USPHL Nationals down in Chesapeake, and they didn't have the Nationals run that I think they wanted. You talk to Coach Raymond, and he basically said, like, look, we are absolutely thrilled to be here, and we deserve it because we've worked hard to get here. And this Hitmen team, they've got a couple of returners as well. And I think it's one of those situations where you've got these returning players that can sort of guide the new guys, right? It's the core of the returners that can come back. I was really impressed by Jack Vanderplatte. He's sort of leading that charge as one of the returners. Colin Nolan as well. I think my standout player from the Jersey Hitmen side was Giovanni Russo. Russo had 2 goals in that opening game, and he was all over the ice. He's absolutely flying around. And on the side of Wilkes-Barre, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be one of those things where you sit back and you wait and see. This is a fast team. This is a big team, and this team has hands. I saw a couple of guys skating around out there, seemingly past everybody. Blake Hasenauer is an absolute physical force to be reckoned with. He's dropping bodies all over the ice, huge hits. CJ Reed is another one, not afraid to post up and get behind the net and really do some damage. Stagel was an absolute tour de force. He's taking pucks behind the net. He's really working his magic all over the ice. Fast skater, long reach. He's a big kid, and I think his dominance really showed up in the corner boards and behind the net.
What's a tortoise force? What's that? Like tortoises are big, so they're like pretty strong. You just said he was fast. I mean, just so you know, tortoises, I mean, it gets some speed up behind them more than you think. But tortoise force does not sound too strong.
It's French for tortoise of force, which when you force a tortoise, they actually move quite quickly.
Interesting, because that's always been okay. I got it. Tortoise force. I'm going to be using that all season long. So, Lucas, we talk about the tortoise force, but we talk about the force of this Wilkes-Barre Scranton team. I love getting a chance to listen to you. I was in the car driving back till 5 a.m. from Florida back up here to Jersey to get ready for the start of the season. And I was listening to the smooth vocals of Lucas Jones on the call, man. They go to a shootout. So you basically called a meaningless game. So the game meant nothing by the end of it. I don't know why. Why'd you keep doing play-by-play in the shootout?
Well, the shootout is the most exciting. The overtime and the shootout are exciting as heck. And as a broadcaster, Jan, I know it's your favorite thing when we get to go to shootout and overtime. But yes, it is unfortunate that when it comes time for power rankings at the end of the month, unfortunately, we will not be able to count the result of that first game.
You're an absolute mess. Let's talk about the results of some of the other games out there. And I'll tell you, one of the players that really spotlighted for me, Garrett Albers, who makes the move over to the Richmond Generals here, the left winger, playing along with Austin Sawyer. 5 points for Albers on the weekend. Sorry, he's a Charleston Colonials guy here. Makes the move from the Colonials over to the Richmond Generals. Like, Albers looked good right away, Lucas, and he cemented himself in with that elite squad for the Richmond Generals on a good weekend.
It's going to be if you thought that this year with the division was going to get any easier, if anything, they've doubled down. I mean, this is every year we talk about that division as an arms race, and I think Albers is part of that rule. He is the evidence that you point to. You cite him first in that arms race as what that division is going to look like this season.
And then in the Premier, Lucas, hat trick alert, watch out, your hats are going flying. Because guess what? You used to hear this back in the day, Wilson! You used to hear, Tom Hanks yelled it. It was Jacob Wilson, though, the Hattie on September 12th against the Carolina Junior Canes. Nothing like not a big deal. Game-winning goal, Hat City, dropping hats all over the ice. He's got an assist playing on the road. Jacob Wilson announcing his presence with authority.
Yeah, I mean, if you can manage that on the road, that's physical toughness, mental toughness, and you know what? Playing with a little bit of that chip, right? Going into another barn, making something big happen, putting the team on your back, and then hitting it with a little flair. There's something that's very, very, very flair. It's not showboat, but it certainly gets in the neighborhood when you drop a Hattie on the road.
And Jacob Wilson, man, this kid's a diaper dandy, baby. He's also with a capital A. He's coming from ACC country, baby. This is what Dookie's go. This is what a Dookie's go. This is where you see the tie heels, all right? This isn't my guy, Mike Krzyzewski. This is Coach K out there, baby. This is Schwabi, okay? The Schwab. You can't stop the Schwab. You can't stop him, baby. He's awesome. That's what we're talking about here, Lucas. We're talking about Jacob Wilson, okay? Dick Vitale, thank you for the appearance on the show today. I always love a chance to talk some ACC basketball with you. But this young man comes out a diaper dandy. He's a Euro 3, which I have officially decided right now, live on the air, that Euro 3s, Lucas, that's the release year of Finding Nemo. They're now the Nemo birth year. That's what we're going to call them. We're going to call them Finding Nemo birth years. That's what this kid is. He's a Ute, as Joe Pesci would put it. Another reference he would not know about. But this kid, young, successful, talent, the Rush just continue to get it done.
Yeah, they really do. And that's something interesting to bring up, too, about Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and the Jersey Hitmen. Those teams are loaded with 04s and 05s. You're one post-Nemo and two post-Nemo birth years. So, the future just keeps getting younger. The existential crises keep growing larger for you and I. But I tell you what, these 03s, 04s, 05s, they are fast, and they have hands that I feel like that the skill sets on these players get better every new birth year that comes in the league.
Now, Lucas, you look down in Florida, Tampa Bay takes on the Florida Junior Blades. The Blades look strong. The Blades gave them some troubles early in those games, but an offensive explosion from Tampa yet again. Very similar start to last year for them. Out of the gates fast, scoring goals in bunches, and yet again, the Stroats have a speedy team. They only get faster as the year goes on.
I mean, that's it, right? It's sometimes a little bit of a roller coaster for that squad, and it comes down to grab good, talented players, they develop them, and then sometimes they, continue their development, right? But you can always count on them to have a fast team and a skilled team. And man, this Florida Junior Blades team, I'm excited to watch them this year. I think this team is going to be extremely resilient. I think you're going to see them have a couple of come from behind wins. And, it's one of those teams that I'm really excited to try to watch them in person. I feel like that's going to be the way to get the metric on this Florida Junior Blades team. Watch them on Hockey TV, but if you can get a chance to go out and watch them in person, definitely go do that.
Yeah, and you look at this Tampa Bay Juniors team, Lucas. You got the likes of the Bryson Uhrig, a goal and 2 assists in the opener with the 6-goal game for the elite squad. You look at Pranay Prasanna. This is a defenseman, man. He does what he needs to do. I gave him a little wave on the ice. I was there for puck drop at the start of the elite game. I was watching the boys warm up. I was out there getting some TikTok content, fun time out there. Go follow the Dan K Show at @the_Dan K Show on TikTok. You need to go follow it. Jordan Campo, Andrew Lewis. Then you jump over, though, and you check out that Premier side. And what a weekend for a guy. I saw a little reaction video, Lucas, to a young man who scored a couple goals for the Tampa Bay Juniors Premier squad. And if my computer would work, it's AJ Bugan, man. AJ with a 2-goal, 1-assist game in his first time out in the ice with the Tampa Bay Juniors. The centerman centers up that offense. And this is a speedster, man. This is a kid who can get from end to end. That first goal, he flashes to the front of the net, centering pass, reaching out in front to tap the thing home, an absolute thing of beauty. I love centermen who skate well without the puck. Don't stand around. Don't look around. Don't be the Brad Marchand who's looking at your plus minus and trying to get off the ice from the break and the rush is going the wrong way. Get into the play, make things happen, get to the front of the net. AJ Bugan did it in bunches.
You got to love that. I mean, you see it where the successful guys are the ones that put themselves in the positions to succeed, right? Luck is mostly opportunity. So when you put yourself in the right spots on the ice, when you keep your head up, when you make the right plays, you're going to be successful.
I want to talk about one more guy before we move on to our NCDC way too early predictions. How about, maybe Dan K's favorite player of all time at this point? I mean, I've loved watching this guy for years, and I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to see this guy play. Is it 500 or is it 5,000 miles?
It's 500.
500 miles. I would walk. That's not that many miles to walk, honestly. Like, I don't feel that much love from that.
All right. Well, then you can walk 500 miles and I will fly, and then we'll see who gets there in better shape.
Well, I'm not talking about the speed of the walk. I just think I could walk 500 miles, not a day, obviously, but over time. He never says I will walk 500 miles in one day. He would be running that amount and he wouldn't make it. Okay. But Evan Miles, 2 goals in the opening weekend for the Hampton Roads Premier. If you are a scout and you've not watched Evan Miles play yet, I'm telling you right now, you can measure height, you can measure weight, you can't measure heart. And this young man, when you talk about just a kid who does every darn thing right from the first whistle to the buzzer sound, this guy plays the game right, and he's taken over on that Premier side, gets the call up with Hampton Roads. He's going to have a huge year.
Yeah, I mean, every single year there's development there. I mean, it's from the system. Yes, it's part the system and part the program they've got down there, and the rest of it's him. The rest of it is the player on the ice putting it in there. And every year there's improvement. And you talk about a guy who you're excited to have. I don't know if you can even call it a breakout year because of how talented he's been before. But if you want to talk about it in that context, this year might be that year.
That's 100%. And then you have the Generals, 3 points out of Carter Jordan, a guy who's got like 2 of the greatest dunkers of all time in his name. Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan like they had in Space Jam when they made the mistake and got the wrong Michael Jordan. What were they thinking, LeBron James? You got to do a better job recruiting. But Carter Jordan, man, this Richmond Generals team, Brendan Yingling, give him a ringling, scouts, man. This guy absolutely gets it done. You get the Yingling bros down there cracking open the back of the net. I'm excited for what we saw in the South, but I'm more excited to make some wild, outlandish, ridiculous predictions. Last weekend, Last week, Dan K picked another quadruple dip. Lucas said the Eels were going to the Cup. And Lucas alienated every team who's ever loved them and went the opposite way of all his favorite teams. We have a ton coming at you next.
The Dan K Show would like to thank all of our fantastic sponsors for the work that they do. If you're interested in partnering with the Dan K Show, reach out to @the_Dan K Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you too can work with the most watched show in junior high.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking in here with breaking news. The Dan K Show is launching, I guess relaunching because I used to do this, America's favorite hockey game show. You can be a guest on Minor Chats, the 2 minutes, the fastest 2 minutes in hockey, where we learn about a player for 1 minute. We learn, we take a deep breath, we dive deep into that player's soul, at least for 60 seconds. Then the next 60 seconds is a rapid fire game show. Most questions answered right wins. What's the catch? They're all personal choice questions. It's your own opinion. But you'll see that some of these guys might just get a bit tangled up. And we start today with our very first Minor Chats guest, Lucas. You excited to be on Minor Chats?
Terrified, Dan.
Terrified. If we were counting answers correct or incorrect, I would say that that was correct, and you get 1 point. But you don't get points yet. We will get to that in a moment. A minute on the clock. Let's go. Personal interview time. Lucas, when you joined up into the game of hockey, right? Folks get to know Lucas. What was the first thing that sold you on this great game? What was the day in your life where you said, this is going to be where I work for the rest of the time?
Well, I've always been a hockey fan. I've loved the sport, huge Ranger fan growing up, but getting into the broadcast booth the first time, that rush of adrenaline, that excitement, how the game felt like it was over in 20 minutes, that's something that I loved about it.
Now, Lucas, you look at the Dan K Show. Why should people be watching the Dan K Show each and every week? And why should they follow us on TikTok?
Because we're the most fun duo in sports. There's no one else who has more fun doing what we do, which is highlighting players each and every week. And because we love doing it so much, it makes the product that much better. It makes
That's enough. No one wants to hear your answer anymore. It is time for the rapid fire round. Minor Chats, 1 minute on the clock, and go. Lucas, are you ready?
Yes.
Correct. One. Next up, what's your favorite hockey player?
Zibanejad.
Mika Zibanejad. Good. That's two. Favorite NHL team?
Rangers.
What's your favorite Ariana Grande song?
I don't know any songs.
That's correct. That's four. Other than Ariana Grande, who's your favorite musician of all time?
Steve Vai.
That's five. In Espanol, would you rather describe yourself as muy grande or muy caliente?
Muy caliente.
Muy caliente. That's six. Taylor Swift, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, or Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Okay. If you had to compare yourself to one character on TV, who is it?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Running out of time. Skip. Dog Frog or Dog the Bounty Hunter? Favorite?
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Why is Wayne Gretzky not the best?
He is.
Okay, that's eight. Oh, last question here. Do you want $500 cash?
Yes.
Oh, did he get it? Not in time. I'm sorry, but you can join us next time. The $500 will stay with me. Lucas, you did a great job, though.
Thank you. Thank you. It was about as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be. Amazing that with all of the TV I've watched in the last 18 months of the pandemic, I couldn't come up with one TV character.
It's a tough thing to do. You can be the next guest on Minor Chats, the most exciting game show, everyone's favorite hockey game show, the only hockey game show, Minor Chats with Dan K.
And folks, if you liked Minor Chats, what you just saw in the break, well, watch out because it's coming to a rink near you this season. All season long, we'll be recording in person. Might even hit a couple people up on Zoom. And if you want to be interviewed, if you want to be included, heck, if you just want to talk to us, at the _Dan K Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. But first, Dan K, way too early predictions. Last week, you and I, a bit of a mixed bag. You got some right. I got some right. Kind of split things down the middle. So this week, we've got the NCDC on tap. We've got 3 real predictions and a fun prediction. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Lucas, and I'm excited for this. So I don't even know what you're saying. You said we got some wrong. We can't get anything wrong yet. It's a way too early prediction. Nothing's happened. Okay. This is always fun, because you're looking at it, we're just getting news down the ladder, right? We're learning as we go, as these NCDC squads are being put together. This is roster making time of year for these NCDC squads. So it's always tough to make these predictions. You're putting yourself out on a limb here, but I feel pretty good about what I've come up with today. Lucas, let's start with a fun one. We have one fun one, three, I think, more serious ones. And my first comes from the coffee fetcher of the NCDC, the Mr. Funfetti himself, Jim Funfetti Henkel. I am predicting right now, way too early, that by the end of the year, he will be known as Mr. Funfetti. The same way that Pitbull is known as Mr. Worldwide, he will be Mr. Funfetti. We will get him a Funfetti sponsorship, and he, myself, you, Lucas, will sit down at his dinner table enjoying a glorious Funfetti dinner.
I got to be honest, those pancakes looked incredible. Every once in a while, you want a little fun. You want a little Fetty, and that's where the Funfetti pancake hits you the most. I don't know if he's going to like it, but I guarantee you it's probably going to happen. Dan, my fun prediction this year, when you told me a great story from the Summer Showcase, that when Coach Mike Marcoux, the Powell Junior Islanders, won, he said that he had missed his ferry, and he wasn't even going to get a hat. So my fun prediction, I am setting the over-under on Mike Marcoux's missed ferries this season. The over-under currently sits at 3.5.
Okay.
I'm taking the over.
Mike Marcoux
will miss 4 ferries this season in pursuit of that Dineen Cup.
Those of you who don't live in that tri-state area, that New York area, man, those ferry schedules can be tough, especially when they're on these USPHL road trips and you're hitting the showcases. Mike Marcoux, more than 3.5 ferries missed on the season. He's already got 1 so far. We're counting the Summer Showcase one. Number 2. This is an interesting one, Lucas. His 30th season behind the bench. One of our favorites on the planet, Bill Flanagan of the Northern Cyclones. Starts his 30th season behind the bench. I'm not making a championship prediction for him. I'm not going that far just yet. He could prove me wrong, though. But I will tell you, I think the boys carry Bill to the semis this year. I think it's at least a semifinal appearance for the Northern Cyclones this year, spinning things up there in New Hampshire.
Well, Dan, interestingly enough, I'm also going north. And I've also turned my eyes to not just the semifinals, but the finals.
Okay.
The team from the north that will make the title game is the Islanders Hockey Club. This is a team, they had an interesting year last year. Every team had an interesting year last year. It was topsy-turvy all season long. This year, the Islanders Hockey Club gets back to the business at hand, and they go all the way to the championship.
I love that pick. You know why? Because I made that pick as well, Lucas, and now I'm not going to make it because we can't have 2 of the same way too early prediction. The folks at home are looking for us to battle. They're looking for us to argue. That's what sells. That keeps us. It keeps us clothed. It keeps us fed. And I like to eat, Lucas, and it keeps a roof over our heads. It's Lucas and Dan. We're like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, or Stephen A. Smith and whatever person he's had fired from ESPN, or whoever it is. That's who we argue with. Okay, because that's it. I am going to kind of pivot here. I have a North prediction as well, but I'm going to skip that one right now. I think that's going to be my last one. The Jersey Hitmen down here in the South. I don't know if they win the cup yet, so I'm not making that pick. But I think they go undefeated at home. I think they protect the ice vault all season long. I think they are undefeated at home, not in home games and showcases, at home in the ice vault arena. I don't think the Hitmen drop a game this year. Interesting. I like that. The Hitmen they love playing at home. They really do. I don't know if I'd agree with you on that way too early prediction. I think the field is a little bit tougher, but we'll get to that in a couple of picks, Dan. A little teaser for later. But first, I'd like to go back to the Powell Junior Islanders here for my second way too early prediction. And let me set the stage for you. Mike Marcoux has made his ferry, and he is steaming across a body of water whose name I can't remember right now. And he gets off the ferry. Hold on. I don't think that this is like the steam engine going on.
In this story, it is a steam engine.
No, it's a coal engine still. Lucas thinks everything's still operating on like 1940s technology. I was trying to reference who made the steam engine. Mm-hmm. Is it Eli Whitney?
That's the cotton gin.
Ah, man.
A bunch of other stuff, to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
The Powell Junior Islanders are going to make the semifinals this year.
Okay.
And I think this is a team that has been getting a lot better over the years. I think that leadership under Marcoux, he's a perfect fit for that squad. He's got charisma. He's got leadership. He's got the know-how to get that thing done. It's an adaptable team. There is nothing that they can't face. There's nothing that they can't go up against and change to fit. I like Powell making it to the semis.
My last NCDC way too early prediction is not going to be that I think Lucas stole that decoration behind him from a Marriott somewhere in Springfield, Massachusetts, but it's going to be about the North and about the team that makes the title game from the North. Not the Boston Junior Bruins. Not the Boston Junior Bruins. You're not going to see that. Not IHC now, because Lucas already picked that. So I think I got to pivot. I got to think about who my boys are. Not the Northern Cyclones in Bill Flanagan's 30th season. Not my boy Haji out there with the Twin City Thunder either. And not my boy Clint, man, Mr. Edinger, the guy who could bench press me 87 times in the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Not going to happen out there at Tri-Town either. Not the Boston Advantage. All the great work going on there with Coach and you know, Britt Hart coming in, working the social. The Advantage, don't take advantage. They don't get there all the way. They're going to have a great year, but not there. Drew Oma Choli. Holy cannoli. They're going, baby. The Treasure Star, 89-point getter in Danbury back in the day. He's a Netflix superstar. He has the artist. He's got it all going on there in South Shore. Mr. Hulsky shooting from the holsters, baby. We are scoring goals. We're getting the pucks. We're playing tough around the boards. And the South Shore Kings will be monarchy. They will be, you know, it'll be anarchy. You know, like, what was it? You know, David Diggs says in Hamilton, monarchy, anarchy. Who knows, Lucas? I don't know. Je ne sais quoi, which I'm not sure what it means. But what I do know what it means is Omacholi going to the cup.
Well, at the end there, you're starting to sound a little more Lafayette than Hamilton there. But I like this. I like this prediction. You know why? Because this feels like a year where everything sort of gets turned up. A little bit of a revolution in the NCDC, right? The old ways can't necessarily stick around forever. There is new talent. There are some new coaches, some new organizations. And you know what? There's a new breed. And with a new breed comes some new predictions, Dan, and I like yours.
And there's some new technology and the bandwidth, you know, for success and the bandwidth for it all, the investment of it all to make sure that it's at top professional level. And I'm just loving what South Shore is doing. They've got the bandwidth to win hockey games here, and they are doing it in bunches. Drew Macholi wins the Coach of the Year last year. He might just repeat. Stay tuned. Watch out.
Well, in the vein and in that theory, right, of the old ways kind of getting surpassed and maybe the new blood, the new ways, the new order coming in here, I'm going to make another prediction similar to my Rockets prediction. I told you that in the Elite, Rockets versus the field, take the field to win that division.
Did.
In the NCDC, the Jersey Hitmen, considered generally the favorite from year to year. Hitmen versus the field for the championship, take the field. And in the South Division, take the field. Take the field on this one. I got a feeling. This year it has nothing to do with the Hitmen. I said the same thing when I made the prediction against the Rockets. It has nothing to do with the Hitmen being worse at all. It has to do with the parity getting better, with teams getting better, with using all of this technology, right? Leveling playing fields, the recruitment game so strong. We've seen it all off season long. I just think that you got to take the field this year.
I cannot wait for you to see Toby and Jim for the first time this year. I am so excited, but don't you worry, Coach Harris. Don't you worry, Coach Hunt, because Lucas will be punished for his actions. We're heading to the golf course today. As this airs, we're heading to the golf course with Dan K, a tradition unlike any other, winning the end-of-year picks bringing Lucas as his caddy. You ready to go, Lucas? You ready to head to the course?
I have been working. I've been carrying burlap sacks full of rice as training so that I can walk up and down the hills. I've been practicing my club washing and my shot selection for you. I do have to send a couple of emails to Mr. Hunt and Mr. Harris. I should probably do that before this episode airs and try to get that done before they see my prediction rather than after, though, I'm starting to think.
I think you might have messed that one up. You might have missed up the cadence and all this. But before we head to the golf course, before we go to the links, before I get myself swinging away, we got to head to the empty net where we talk to you, the wonderful fan at home. Welcome to the empty net.
Welcome back, folks. Time for the empty net. We actually had some fun on Twitter this weekend, opening weekend with our two favorite divisions. I should say our two favorite divisions that are our favorites because of how much they're willing to chirp us. That's kind of how it is. We love them because they trash talk us frequently and from many different accounts. We had some fun with that this weekend. And Dan, you actually got chirped a little bit here for your prediction regarding some Southeast games. Chesapeake Regional Hockey Review. Dan KO's 10 push-ups and burpees for every goal differential. Lucas gets a milkshake or whatever you'd like for the correct pick. As long as the milkshake can be made with maybe some cashew milk because of my lactose intolerance, I will certainly take that.
Yeah, and I appreciate them trying to get me back in the suit shape because I need to do that. I'm working on it right now. I'm going to play some tennis at some point here this week to get myself moving again. I got to say, Lucas, I love the chirping. I love how fired up people get. I had to tell some folks, we made our way too early predictions for the Premier and the Elite over 85, 90 teams to talk about there if we were going to make a prediction for each and every team. I told people, we can make a 24-hour-long show if you would like us to, but you got to watch it. You got to watch every minute of it. And you got to prove to us you do. You got to live stream yourself watching us. If you want us to do 24 hours of content and cover every single team every week, we will try our darndest. But I don't know if I'll have a voice anymore, Lucas, and I think we might both pass out.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Dan, you and I have done the 36-hour talk show before. You were the host. I was your PA running around in the back, making sure everybody was on time. And then when people didn't show up, I talked about duct tape for an hour. So I have zero interest in doing that again. If we could talk about all these teams, we would. But you'll just have to keep watching throughout the year as we continue to talk about everybody.
100%. And for the folks at home, we did break a world record, ladies and gentlemen, for like 3 days before someone else broke it. But we hosted the longest talk show in the history of talk shows. We stayed up for a long period of time. I didn't sleep. I was on the air for 37 hours and 17 minutes. It was pretty crazy. But next up, Lucas, I think that one of my favorite moments from the entire weekend is this photo here from the Tampa Bay Juniors. They had local firefighters, first responders come out and join the squad on the ice in honor of 9/11. The job they did there, the job they continue to do in Tampa Bay, the Stroke family, they just get it, man. They work so hard. You talk about Kevin Walters behind the scenes, Christian, a new voice of the team there with the Tampa Bay Juniors. They talk about finding your why. That's what they say. Find your why, right? And what does that mean? That means, find out why you're doing this all. Why are you playing hockey? Why'd you wake up this morning? Why are we taking on the day? Why are we going to class? Whatever it is that you're taking on, why are you there, right? It's how we succeed. In this moment, I mean, this is why we do it all, right? The opportunity to celebrate the incredible people in the community that allow us to stay safe, be healthy, and enjoy this great game.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. And, like you had said earlier in the show, Dan, the tributes from everyone around the league were great to watch. Obviously a very moving day for a lot of us. And, it's great that people were able to market in the various ways that they did.
Anything else from you here, Lucas? Did you catch anything else on social this week?
Nothing on social for me this week, Dan. I mean, just a ton of chirping and a bunch of people getting involved, especially from Southeast and Florida. I think now we look forward to a more full slate of games and all of the ways we might continue to be right or wrong. And, folks, just keep talking back to us. The more you talk to us, the better this show is. So really, the more fun we get to have, the better off we are.
You look at this weekend coming up, we have a ton of incredible hockey. The Great Lakes division, Dan Kay is going to make himself a little Instagram live going over the weekend, talking about some of these divisions that we haven't gotten a chance to touch on yet. We're going to be making our selections on social media. You can tune into Twitter for that. our picks for this weekend's games. Let us know if we're right. Let us know if we're wrong, but you got to participate. If you're watching this show and you aren't chirping us after, you aren't praising us after, you're not talking to us, you're not asking questions, you're not participating, you're missing the whole darn point. I feel like Matt Foley, a motivational speaker here. We need you. Here's you. There's us. There's us. Here's you. Come help us out. Give me a hug. Let's talk hockey, Lucas. Parting words. I thought I got you. I thought I led you into it, led you to water. The horse didn't want to drink, but Dan K, he is easily led anywhere. I will give in to peer pressure, folks. So tell me where you want us next. We have a bunch of incredible announcements coming up. We will be all over the hockey world this season. Dan K Show. Make sure to follow us at @the_Dan K Show. Most importantly on TikTok. Go to TikTok for free. You just get a TikTok. You go to TikTok. Look up at @the_Dan K Show and just appease us at this point. Just appease me and follow us. Yeah, I'm there. My singing was beautiful. Lucas, thumbs up, thumbs down on the singing voice. I think I'm ready for Broadway. I literally tweeted Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah, we did it. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night, remastered Sleepy Elite Junior Profiles, Tampa Bay Juniors, USPHL hockey, Dan K Show, everything. Just follow all of it. We like those products.
Welcome back.
I quit.
You just told me to do it.
I know, but I forgot. Oh, your show. I'm just here. Ancillary character.
You just told me to do it.
You're the main character.
Oh, God. All right, are you ready?
Go ahead. Yeah, now I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it again.